Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Dena. I'm a graphic designer, digital artist, and content creator, and I make videos about art, design, and my life as a creative. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, consider subscribing because that's pretty much all I post about. In today's video, I'm going to be walking you guys through my 5-step process on how to become a graphic designer in 2021. In this day and age, it's a lot easier and more accessible now more than ever. So if you're serious about becoming a graphic designer, I'm going to walk you through those steps now. So step number 1 is to have a plan of action. The term graphic designer overall is a pretty broad term. There's many different types of graphic designers, and deciding which one you want to learn more about could save you lots of time and speed up your progress if you know which design field you want to specialize in. So essentially, if you know what type of designer you want to be, you'd be working backwards in terms of, you want to be this type of designer. So you're going to break it down into more actionable steps on, okay, what are the specific things I need to learn in order to become this type of designer that specializes in this specific thing. To give you a few examples, you could specialize in things like branding, print/packaging/production, UI UX design, logo design, digital art, and the list goes on and on. Now, you still might not know what design field you want to pursue, and that's perfectly okay. And no one's expecting you to have it all figured out, especially in the beginning. I didn't have it all figured out myself when I started either. This gives you a chance to kind of learn everything on a more broad spectrum so that naturally over time you'll learn which ones you gravitate more towards or want to learn more about. So once you've established what type of designer you want to be or don't want to be, step number 2 is to become a sponge. You want to absorb and soak in all the information that you're learning and studying. There's really 2 main ways that you can go about learning, which is 1, you either get a formal design education at a university, or 2, you go the self-taught, self-learning route where you learn and teach yourself through online courses, books, blogs, and videos. The main factor to consider for most people is the cost. So ask yourself, are you able to afford a formal education at a university and pay out of pocket? Or are you willing to take out school loans, be in debt for a little bit, and then once you graduate, eventually pay it all back for the years to come? Or would you rather take the quote-unquote tougher route that's more affordable but more difficult in terms of having more self-discipline to be resourceful, to teach and learn things by yourself? In my case, although I did graduate with a design degree, I'm still learning and teaching myself new things all the time, even after college. In the design field, if you want to succeed and continue advancing your career, you have to take on the mentality of becoming a student for life and be open to learning new things all the time. I think learning shouldn't stop once you're done with school, especially in the design field. And as Warren Buffett says, the more you learn, the more you earn. So let's see the pros and cons to learning at a university versus learning by yourself. Pros for learning design at a university: in-person learning. So there's hands-on experience, and this is especially useful if you are a visual learner. You have access to more resources and opportunities as a college student. You're surrounded by like-minded people, and so you have a wider network of people to connect with. And everything is essentially planned out for you, so you take out the guesswork and you really just have to follow and execute based on what your course instructor gives you. The cons to studying design at a university is, well, 1, it's more expensive, especially considering it's a field of study where a degree is not necessarily required in order to succeed or land a job, but for some jobs, a degree is required or at least highly desired. Another con is the time that it takes to get your degree. On average, college is about 4 years long before you get your degree, and so if time is a very valuable thing for you and you want to cut it down in half, then the self-teaching route would probably be better suited for you. And you know what they say, time is money. Now let's look at some pros and cons to self-learning. You can go at your own pace, and so it's more flexible. You can learn what you want when you want. You don't get any grades, so there's no pressure about worrying about your GPA or strict deadlines to turn in your work by. It's much cheaper, so the price that you get when you learn on your own is much lower and will save you thousands of dollars compared to university costs, which will depend on where you live / what university you're wanting to go to. So for that, I would research the school that you're looking into in order to factor in all the costs. Another thing is that it forces you to become more self-disciplined and resourceful as a person. So some cons is that because no one's telling you what to do, it can be really easy to slack off or lose motivation. Your why or reason for wanting to be a designer has to be strong enough to get yourself to take the initiative to self-learn. And it can be lonely, which is discouraging because you don't have classmates or peers to relate to or talk to in the way you would at a university. Everyone's situation and life circumstances are different, so I would use your best judgment to see what type of learning style you work best in, your financial situation, and ask yourself, what are you willing to put yourself through? Regardless of which way you want to start learning, you want to start familiarizing yourself with things like, what are the fundamentals of design? Start looking at other people's design work and start studying it, and familiarize yourself with the design programs, especially the Adobe Creative Cloud like Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, and Adobe InDesign, to name a few. You can start learning these at any time. There's just so many free resources out there online. There's courses, there's YouTube videos, there's books, vlogs, so many things and areas that you can learn from. Step number 3 is to take what you learn and execute on designing in order to gain the experience. You want to create as much as you can in order to speed up your learning process. Like doing anything new or being a beginner in anything, it will most likely suck and it can be discouraging, but the key is to never quit. So essentially, you want to keep the momentum going of just creating even if it sucks. Over time, you'll naturally get better as you start experimenting, learning, taking risks, making mistakes, growing, breaking some rules, and overall just having fun with designing. The most important thing in this step is that you're learning and you're growing. To practice any art, no matter how well or badly, is a way to make your soul grow. So do it. Whether you're creating design projects for your school assignments, for a client, or for your own portfolio, you're going to need assets like fonts, mockups, photos, and other graphic elements in order to help bring those design projects to life. Which brings me to today's video sponsor, Envato Elements. Envato Elements is the world's leading creative marketplace that has millions of creative assets for you to choose from with unlimited downloads, all at one low cost starting from $16.50 a month. Anything from graphic templates, stock photos, videos, music tracks, and much more, they've got it all. So be sure to sign up with Envato Elements using my link in the description to get access to millions of creative assets for your next design project today. Step number 4 is to immerse yourself in the design community as much as you can. You want to go out of your way to surround yourself with like-minded people and creatives through things like social media or local events, clubs. There's Facebook groups, online forums. Find a mentor if you can and collaborate with other creatives. There's a quote that goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, go together. I think that being genuine and going out of your way to meet new people in your desired field could open many doors for you. You never know who could connect you to certain opportunities that could really boost your design career down the line. So don't be opposed to meeting new people or going to events or just being uncomfortable for a little bit. Otherwise, you're closing that door of potential opportunities coming into your life. Remember, it's not always about what you know, but who you know as well. You want to keep that momentum going of learning and studying, creating, and surrounding yourself in the design community. The 5th and final step is to put together a design portfolio of your best works if you want to get hired for design jobs. At this point, you should have a good amount of projects to show. I would recommend either having a website or a digital PDF portfolio. The number of projects that you have in your portfolio should be no less than 5 and no more than 12. So I feel like anywhere from 5 to 12 is a pretty sweet spot. You want to focus on quality and not quantity, and making sure that your projects have depth. I actually made a video recently where I shared tips and showed my senior graphic design portfolio, which I will either link on the screen or in the video description. And that concludes today's video. I hope that I was able to provide some guidance or some insights on how to become a graphic designer. I want to reiterate that everyone's situation is different, and so these steps are on a more generalized spectrum. So use your best judgment there, but be sure to subscribe for more. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and leave me a comment down below if you have any questions or concerns. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.